happened about 15 years ago, where we bought our first clinic, right? And you could see me, you could tell, you know, like that was literally how I felt the first day when I bought my clinic. I was so tired. I was working like 70 hours. And it was a good deal. We bought a clinic that was making $100,000 profit, and we paid $200,000 for it, right? You know, I was like, this is a good deal. We could pay it off in 2 years. It's cheaper than starting up a clinic. Like, how much does it cost to start a clinic now? Like $100, $150 square feet to build, right? And then in 2-3 years, you might start breaking even, or maybe in a year, if you're lucky, you start breaking even, right? So like for us, like buying clinics made sense. And you know what? We got lucky with our first clinic. You know, we're also very young. We're in our 30s. We have a lot of ego, and we're very ambitious. And we want to do what most clinic owners do. Like, we want multiple locations, right? You still remember those talks, right, Paul?
Absolutely. Yeah.
Yeah. And the opportunity we saw was that there's a lot of people selling their clinics, but there wasn't a lot of people buying clinics, right? Besides, obviously, the obvious, which is the national rehab chains, right? And so that was really like, oh my God, this is like this amazing opportunity that we have in front of us, right? And so we did what most owners do now. We used the profits from our clinics and we went on a shopping spree, right? So we bought our second clinic, we bought our third, fourth, fifth, and we got to our 23rd clinic. And by buying like all these clinics, and what Paul and I realized was that most owners really never plan to sell, or they have an exit strategy, right? It just kind of happens due to unfortunate circumstances, right? And here is kind of the 7 reasons why I see most clinic owners sell. And this is important, especially for the people that are young clinic owners and they're not thinking of selling, is that like, you know, like this will actually, you know, like give you a lot of wisdom for your years ahead, right? You know, so the number one reason that we find that most people sell their business is usually some type of like health issue, right? Something medically came up, you know, like it happened with my parents, you know. So a medical issue helps makes them reevaluate their life on what's important to them, and it's usually not business. It's usually family and seeing your kids more, right? A divorce, you know, like they're in the middle of divorce, and, you know, they want to split up. You know, we bought a lot of clinics through divorces, right? You know, and you know, this is the classic one: business partner fallouts, right? You know, and losing your superstar clinician. You have a big biller, and all of a sudden they run across the street and start up a clinic, and you know, and all of a sudden you went from making money to not making money. Your spouse relocates to another city. Burnout. You realize that when you start running a clinic, you're like, it's not as profitable as you thought it would be. It's actually way easier being a clinician, right? And last thing is you got an insulting offer and it just made you upset that, like, you know what, like maybe it just triggered you, like, yeah, maybe it's time for me to sell, right? So Rohan, like you've done a lot of M&A in your accounting life, you know, through, you know, at KPMG and Microsoft. Like, this is what me and Paul saw when we were buying clinics. Is this something that you saw like with most businesses in terms of when they sell businesses?
Yeah, it's pretty much cross industries. And a number of clients that I saw at KPMG, literally on the buy and sell transactions, these are one of the 7, exactly one of the 7s that you would see for sure that would happen.
Cool.
Yeah.
Cool.
You know, this actually brings up a lot of bad memories, to be honest. There was one scenario where we just bought a clinic for $700,000. And the minute we bought it, we didn't realize, but the previous owner didn't tell their staff or didn't let their staff know that they were selling the clinic. Those clinicians ended up becoming quite bitter and ended up opening a clinic. 4 of them left the clinic, ended up opening a clinic across the street. And all of a sudden we had this really expensive empty building, right? So, or an empty clinic. So that was a real big learning experience. And that's actually quite a common thing that happens throughout, you know, throughout these, you know, acquisitions and purchases.
Yeah,